Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to see the first step of backend of chip designing, the first step of RTL2GDSII flow, that is synthesis. So without any further ado, let's get started. So what is synthesis? Synthesis is basically a process of converting a high level description of the design, which is written at the register transfer level, into an optimized gate level netlist. So what does this mean? This means that the functionality of the design is expressed using hardware description languages, and Verilog and VHDLs are the two most popular HDLs. Now the synthesis tool takes the code which is written using Verilog or VHDL and converts into an optimized gate level netlist. Now what does this gate level netlist contain? This gate level netlist contains the technology specific gates, that is technology specific sequential and combinational cells, nets and the connectivity info. So synthesis is mainly done using three steps, and the first step is translation. So during translation, the logic synthesis tool interprets the Verilog constructs and kind of understands the primitive and operators used in the Verilog RTL description. And the final output of the translation is an unoptimized intermediate internal representation of the RTL description. Now, once we have an unoptimized intermediate representation of the RTL description, the tool now does some kind of logic optimization. It basically removes the redundant logic. Now the third step is technology mapping. So until now, the design representation was independent of some specific target technology. But in this step, the synthesis tool takes the internal representation and implements the representation in gates using cells provided in the technology library. Basically, the design is mapped to some desired target technology. We will understand this in little more detail in upcoming slides. So now let's understand these steps in much more detail, and let's look at the step-by-step process of synthesis. So these are the detailed steps of synthesis, and the two most popular tools used in the industry to do synthesis are Genus by Cadence and Design Compiler by Synopsys. These steps are mainly genus specific, but both the tools kind of does the same thing. Basically concept is same. So as you can see, the input to this logic synthesis tool is RTL and .libs. These .libs are used at this technology mapping step. So we know, right, that during technology mapping step, the internal representation of gates is mapped to technology specific gates. These technology specific gates comes from .libs only. So once we give the required inputs to the logic synthesis tool, the logic synthesis tool performs these steps. It first reads the RTL, then performs elaboration, then the SDC is applied, basically synopsis design constraints are applied, then tool performs generic synthesis followed by logic optimization. Now once we have the generic netlist, the gates from the generic netlist are mapped to the desired target technology during this technology mapping step. And once we have the mapped netlist, some kind of design optimization is done. So once optimization is done, to make the design more controllable and observable, scan chains are inserted in the netlist, and after inserting the scan chains, one round of incremental optimization is done. So this completes our synthesis, and the output of synthesis will be synthesized gate level netlist, an output SDC, and a scan-def. Scan-def basically contains the information of scan flops and their connectivity info in a scan chain. Now we will see these steps in little bit more detail in upcoming slides. So we will see the steps only till this optimization step, because generally the scan insertion is done by the DFT team. Like there are two kinds of flow which are possible. One is one pass flow. In one pass flow, a synthesis person only does all these things. But in two pass flow, the netlist is given to the DFT team after this optimization step, and the DFT team inserts the scan chain in the netlist and give it back to the person who is doing synthesis, and the synthesis person does the incremental optimization. So this is called two-pass flow. Now let's see these steps one by one in little more detail. So the first step is reading the RTL. The synthesis tool reads the RTL and checks if there are any syntax errors in that RTL. So once the RTL is read successfully and the tool ensures that there are no syntax errors, the tool moves on to perform the next step, which is elaboration. So as the name suggests, elaboration step kind of elaborates the design and its references. So what does this elaborating the design mean? Elaborating the design basically means, see, let's understand like this. So when the tool reads the RTL, there is not one single Verilog file. There are so many individual Verilog files that are being read by the tool. So during elaboration step, the tool kinds of understand all the Verilog files and builds one single netlist from all those individual Verilog files. So it is like building a data structures from all those individual Verilog files. It is making one single netlist. It is building a data structure. Also during this elaboration step, as the tool kind of understands the RTL, it infers devices in the design. For example, it converts the synchronous elements to D latch or D flip flop, and it converts the decision trees like if else statement to a mux. Also, it performs some kind of higher level HDL optimization during elaboration step, such as removing the dead code, for example, removing the unloaded outputs. So now I'll show you some elaboration examples. So we saw right that during elaboration step, the tool infers in the design. So as you can see, this is a piece of code in the Verilog. And as you can see, it is like a mux. So if the case statement is 0, then output will be I0, and if it is 1, the output will be I1. So we can consider it like a mux, right? We can consider this as a select line. So if select line is 0, output will be I0, and if select line is 1, output will be I1. So this part of code can be inferred as a mux. So that's what elaboration tool is doing. As you can see in the log file, we are getting this statement that in this file, which is multiplexer.v on line 20, mux is inferred. Mux inferred. Check and revisit your RTL if this is not the intended behavior. So the tool is inferring this case statement as a mux. So that's how inferring happens during elaboration. So here is a one more example of inferring. As you can see, this is a code of a latch. As you can see, if enable is 1, the D in will be D out. So this is the code of a latch, and so that's what the tool is inferring. As you can see, latch is inferred in file latch.v on line number 6. So it is a line number 6 if you will 1 2 3 4 5 6. So at line number 6, the latch is inferred in a file called latch.v. So that's how inferring happens. So after elaboration step, the constraints are applied. The constraints can be timing constraints or the design rule constraints. The design rule constraints are basically these maximum transition, fan out, and capacitance limits. And this is an example of a timing constraint. So we are creating a clock whose name will be clock, and the period will be 20, and waveform is 1020, means the rising edge will be at 10 and the falling edge will be at 20. So after the constraints are applied, the tool performs the next step, which is generic synthesis. In generic synthesis, the tool maps the cells or gates to the cells from generic library. So there is a generic library which is technology independent library. That is, it is not dependent on any technology, on any target technology. It is independent of the technology. So during this step, during generic synthesis, the tool maps the cells to that generic library and gives us an unoptimized intermediate technology independent netlist. So let's understand this with an example. So we saw that we had a code of a latch. So if you synthesize this code, this generic netlist you will get. So as you can see in this generic netlist, there is a device called CDN underscore latch. So this CDN underscore latch is from the generic library. So if you are doing synthesis from the Cadence synthesis tool, that is Genus, in the generic netlist you will see there will be devices with this prefix CDN underscore latch, CDN underscore flop, CDN underscore mux. So you should understand that this CDN underscore latch or something is from the generic library, which is a technology independent library. So once the generic synthesis is done, the tool does the logic optimization. It basically removes the redundant logic by doing some kind of logic optimization, like it removes the flops which have constant value or removes the unused cells and wires. So after doing the logic optimization, the tool does the next step, which is technology mapping. So as we already saw that during this technology mapping step, the generic cells from the generic library are mapped to the technology cells from the desired target technology. So what are these technology cells? Let's try to understand this with an example. Let's say you want your chip to be fabricated in some XYZ corporation, and that XYZ corporation has a CMOS 40 nanometer technology. So what does it mean? It means that all the cells of your chip will be from CMOS technology and will have 40 nanometer as their gate length. So during this technology mapping step, these generic cells are mapped to some specific target technology library. Now, these generic cells are generic in nature. For example, they are independent of any technology, like they just contains the functionality. These generic cells can be mapped to any technology, like it can be mapped to CMOS 40 nanometer, CMOS 28 nanometer, or anything other than CMOS as well. So as you can see in this example, we had a latch.v code. So in the latch generic.v, that is after generic synthesis step, we had this cdn underscore latch as a generic cell. And after the technology mapping is done, we have this latch underscore map.v. So in this netlist, mapping is done. And as you can see, the cells have been mapped to the actual technology dependent cells. With this, our technology mapping step completes, and after this, we have something called design optimization. So now tool tries to optimize the design to achieve the optimal power, performance, and area. So once the design optimization is done, as we discussed, that scan chain insertion happens, and that scan chain insertion can be done by the synthesis person if it is one pass flow, or it can be done by the DFT team if it is two pass flow. So after scan chain insertion, we do one more round of incremental optimization. So with this, our synthesis completes. So yeah, this is it from my side. Let me know your feedback in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.